Hi everyone! Did you guys see the news about Jensen Huang saying to Samsung that you guys aren't prepared and have to redesign HBM? Well, let's take a look at what HBM and see why it is so important for Samsung and Nvidia. So let's get started. So there was an article 2 days ago where Jensen Huang, the Nvidia CEO and founder, says Samsung HBM requires redesign to meet Nvidia's need. So for those who don't know what HBM, here's something that I've organized for you guys to read. So HBM is the high bandwidth memory chip, and basically for those who doesn't know about technology, it's an accelerator for transferring data. Now what makes this unique is that it's the methodology of how HBM works. So before they were placing the DRAMs, they would place it side by side. But as you guys know, that is very inefficient. Instead, they would stack up the DRAM in 3D shape, so it would go up more. And so it was very efficient. And so what it means to stack is that the transferring data speed will go faster. Now, why is that important? The faster data is being transferred, the more high complicated technological shizzle we can perform, aka the AI stuff. Also, there's less time spent transferring data. For those who aren't sure of what AI is, for the AI to work and function, you need a lot of data being transferred and managed. So what the GPU does is that it would be doing the transferring onto the CPU, and the CPU basically would be managing the data. A really good comparison I did that I got approved of my chat was HBM is kind of like steroids for gym people or athletes. Probably not a good example, but this is something that I thought of. So instead, before steroids, you'd probably have to put one at a time, which is time inefficiency, where you need the boost of energy, right? So you guys can think of this as they created a special steroids where you can inject multiple steroids at a time. What that would lead to would be faster and heavier weight that they can lift, which would be the data transferring part. So HBM right now goes on GPU and CPU. Hopefully it can also go on motherboard and basically create like a supercomputer, which would be really cool. So for those who want to know more in depth about HBM, the word that you guys want to know or maybe look into would be 3D, which is to stack. We just talked about stacking. That's what the official terminology is. And like I said, they used to be side by side, but now the DRAM are being stacked. We call this 3D. Another thing that the company needs to worry about is the lifespan of HBM. And HBM is important on layers, whether it's 8 times, 12 times, or 16 times. So why did this become hot? Like, why is Jensen Huang talking about it? And how come he's like the one that everyone's paying attention to? As you guys know, Nvidia is the leader for AI technology, at least in the GPU section. But AI computing GPUs are so expensive. Imagine how many fancy components need to be embedded in the GPU, leading up to the Nvidia stock prices. So if anyone ever got curious of that, that's probably one of the biggest reasons why. And during the whole CES, at least up to now, which is we are on day 3, the theme was very heavily dependent on AI. So, if Nvidia or any other GPU, CPU producing companies want to sell their products, it must contain AI related stuff, right? So that means that HBM is very important on accelerating the data for the AI because like I said, a lot of data is required dealing with AI. We're not talking about tens or 100, we're talking about like millions. So this means that it's a very important component for AI and that a lot of people, including Broadcom, as you guys know, which is a popular trend that develops ASIC, has also been looking into HBM. Just a side note, Broadcom has also been working with SK Hynix on delivering HBM. Now, SK Hynix is going with the revision 1B while Samsung is on 1A. So 1B and 1A is the revision version. And note that all revisions between the company might be slightly different, but you can think of it as the more revision that has been done, the better the technology. So 1A that Samsung is working on contains more heat and uses less electricity. So you can see why Nvidia has said that to Samsung, saying that we kind of want you to do a revision of your design. It's kind of old trend, is basically what we can view this as. Now, which company makes HBM? I've already mentioned two that you guys can guess, but the leading company is SK Hynix. Second one is Micron from US, and third one is Samsung from Korea. We haven't seen any other, but if you guys know of, please tell me. So a little fun history and news that's being said about HBM, because this became all of a sudden really popular in Korea. Since Korea to Samsung is that one company that we all depended on, but the fact that Jensen Huang talked about how Samsung was behind led a lot of attention to HBM, so a lot of people started researching what HBM and the history behind the company. So HBM actually first started by SK Hynix in 2010, and then Samsung started after, but in 2018, they paused the development of this product. But after the boom of AI, they restarted this business. This explains why SK Hynix is still to this lead. For those who have not heard of SK Hynix, they are a huge semiconductor microchip company, and it's a company that you guys should look into if you guys are interested in investing any AI related stocks. So the conclusion that you get from all this is that HBM is an important component for GPUs and CPUs and is related to AI. So anyone who wants to invest in stock and is looking for AI related, this would be an option to look into. And I know currently we only have Micron in the US stock, but if there is also any GPU or CPU component that is starting any type of business with any of the companies that we mentioned that creates HBM, we know that they are really interested in bringing up their AI technology. Now, things to look out for the future. Jensen Huang also said that they are also looking into working with Hynix for HBM4, which is better and faster technology, if you kind of imagine. So if either Micron or Samsung creates HBM4 that passes the NVIDIA qualification test, then the ranking might change. Now, Hynix currently is creating HBM4 using the 1B process. It seems that they have a testing component out, but is not being used. And Samsung is thinking of going to 1C, but will that be Hynix's 1B revision version? We'll have to see about that. So this was all the information I gathered for HBM. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I'll try to answer them. I'm not 100% sure of this. I work with my chat on looking into information and learning more about HBM. So thanks for watching and see you guys on my next video. Bye!